5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. 5 seconds remaining. Time now for the Dire team to choose.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Radiant team pick. 5 seconds remaining. Time now for the Dire team to choose.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Radiant team pick. 5 seconds remaining. Time now for the Dire team to choose.
Behold the horn of
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Time now. 5 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Enchantress.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Phantom Assassin.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant's team pick.
Die.
10 seconds remaining. A voice in my ear is telling me only 5 seconds to go. Either that or I'm mad. Dire team pick.
Tide Hunter.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Patience while the Radiance team chooses.
Silencer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Warlord.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. A voice in my ear is telling me only 5 seconds to go. Either that or I'm mad. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Patience while the Radiance team chooses. Dire team pick.
Void incarnate.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Which hero will you choose? The anticipation is killing me. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I love it when you resist.
Prepare for battle.
Rolling out.
Steady now. 30 seconds until we are tested by combat.
A solid mid game because your supports are just so weak. If the supports are better, fine, but the supports are really weak this game.
Yeah. For a droid, right? Yeah. I mean, that's true. Again, the mag is nice to have because he doesn't really save you the Battle Fury Gold, but he does put you a little bit ahead. He gives you that advantage over in your dream, especially because we're lacking the aggressive dispel for Among Us to get rid of that early on. So we'll see how they can make it, but definitely I agree to your point. As we already see MCY getting bullied by Cuckoo.
No, but these are good. They took the bounty runes though. I think the lanes though should slightly benefit Androit. The top lane, I can't imagine Tide doing too badly. If anything, the PA will get farmed, but Tide will also get farmed, so at least they'll be equal. I would say the bottom lane should be slightly troll favored, but there's a lot of kill potential coming from Among Us.
Abed's not happy with that. He messed up his block, and now there's a pause.
That actually does bother you a lot in the early. Yep.
VPN.
Interesting.
Who's having a VPN here?
It's tied to our advantage.
Maybe it is Abed?
No, but Abed is already.
Yeah, but maybe they VPN to Singapore for lower ping?
Could be. But I've used VPNs before, and they really.
Can I assess what you said, Bowie? Nope. Okay. It's confidential.
I honestly can't tell if they're beaming or not. You never know. But also, every time I see SS now that I live in SCA, I keep thinking of the ultimate, right?
It is. It's super skill, yeah, from whatever game it was. Oh, be careful, March. Be careful. He's always.
Do not abandon. Do not abandon, March.
If you've been watching the broadcast, whenever someone disconnects, he always says, "Be careful, be careful, be careful," because there's the bug.
Yeah. Which I don't know if he's doing it as a meme or he is like just. Oozing sportsmanship.
I think it's just he's oozing sportsmanship, you know. As you recall, it's okay, I take the blame incident, right?
It's true. It's true.
I think that's just March, and I honestly I respect him for it. He's consistent with it, and maybe it is kind of a joke for him, but also it's, you know, if it is something that comes up, he's like, no, we told them, you know.
It's hard not to like the guy, to be honest. Every time you see him in interviews and everything, he seems like quite a
All right, March. I mean, come on. We're giving you a lot of credit here. Now your shift key is stuck. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that's quite real, to be honest. When you make up such a dumb excuse, it has to be a real excuse. Anyway, let's see how this mid lane comes. I'm quite interested in this matchup because there's actually kind of a... You can actually get a lot of an edge if you are playing the Void Spirit in this matchup because the Queen of Pain will, as you see, will go for the Scream of Pain build, assuming you go for the Simulate build, right? And you bait that out, you are allowed to go for a much more aggressive build as Void Spirit, and you kind of cancel what the Queen of Pain is doing. So it's a lot of a mind game here of not revealing your skills in the mid lane. I think it's a very interesting skill-based matchup, Queen of Pain, Void Spirit right now.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I know you mean skill-based as in who is the better mechanically skilled player, but it also depends on the skill build of the two heroes, so it works, it works both ways there.
Oh, wow, I did a pun without knowing. Huh.
Yeah, there you go.
Great. Thank you, Richie, for
Well,
calling that out.
I am the pun master. Look, we're swapping roles today. Oh, this Jaffer is going to get... actually, he's just going to get a little bit of extra harass on the Cuckoo there. I think Jeffer may be miscalculating that one, and he's going to be in some trouble, wasting time and distracting us from First Blood. That is going to be tough.
Again, stop saying us, friend. Stop saying us.
Did you see it?
Anyway, so the bottom lane, Macy now is in trouble. Cuckoo did hit him with the Venomous Scale, and this is the threat. Like, I don't think the Veno can completely kick the troll out of the lane, but because your support's slightly weaker in the lane, then you can have a lot of kill potential. So Troll has to play with the safe here. March top lane, also in trouble again. Nico, strong anchor smash. CML thinking of following through, and Fizz getting some more range between them. CML, not enough damage. March calculated this perfectly, but Nico protects his support to make sure that In Your Dream cannot just jump him.
I'm maybe curious if maybe it's worth it for CML to kind of be a bit crazy and dive there for the kill, because wait, March, yeah, he had a healing cell, but like no extra regen, because March just TP'd back to the lane, and has not yet.
Oh,
so
right.
you would have had a minute basically, or at least 2 creep waves where Nico and CML can then double team In Your Dream here without March being able to offer much help. I don't know. It's just one of those things, but I think that's probably the better play. Just not feeding any gold experience, right? Keep March at level 1, stuff like that.
That's a very good point, actually. You mentioned. I think you're totally right that it's probably worthwhile, but at the same time, as you mentioned, taking those risks can be really dangerous, especially when you don't need to get that much out of this early game, right?
Yeah.
You're looking much more into the mid game team fight. Booming. Yeah. Okay, no. You're looking much more into the mid-game team fight to try to make space, right? So if you give them a lot of kills, they could snowball you a bit because the Queen of Pain can just start rotating here. And look, the mind games worked. Abed actually wins them because you've got the Shadow Strike points and there's no Dissimulate points yet on Mac, or only 1, right? So Abed is doing pretty good in this lane for now.
Yep, it's going to be all about that cooldown you're looking for is In Your Dream getting rooted up. As Marshall hit him with a double Arcane Curse. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be the Resonant Impulse build, which is, I mean, it does accelerate Mac's farm, though, right? So yeah, he's going to get kind of bullied in this lane, but I think the idea is, at least versus the Queen of Pain, Queen of Pain should always be able to actually out-bully you, I think, if she builds correctly, right? And plays correctly.
Wait, CML in the top lane, bit of trouble. March, MPA actually joins in. They want to kill CML. Nice gush to give him some space, and now In Your Dream is in trouble, but the Blur saves his life. They just need one more Anchor Smash, and Your Dream gets lucky once, but not lucky twice. CML, however, does die to March, so that's going to be a 1-for-1.
There's a gank coming mid lane. Oh, maybe not Jeffer. Maybe just trying to secure this DD rune for Abed, which he will do. Might go for an Abba toss here, a little cheeky breaky one, and especially now that they've actually used the Dissemblate DD activated on Abed as he will now rotate back into the lane. Mac trying to stay alive, stick charges, and even the Fairy Fire, but he will still tick down there to the Stifling, or the Shadow Strike.
Just want to mention, by the way, that
Bottom, hold on real quick. Cuckoo underneath the tier 1 tower. It looks like he got skewered underneath by Boomy, and Macy is going to be able to stay alive.
This is how you play the lane with Magnus. I've seen some Magnuses do some crazy plays in the lane, making me doubt the title of the weak lane support, right?
I don't know if you heard me earlier, but Boomy is a really, really good mag player.
Oh, I'm aware.
Even on the support, yeah.
So it's very different than what I saw on Kesku, where Kesku surprised me. I was expecting Boomy to do quite well in this lane, and he
yes, definitely.
Again, don't diss to Kesku. It's just not a hero we've seen him play very often.
Yep.
In the middle lane, though, I just want to mention that actually the fastest farming build is the Dissimulate build, because you reduce the cooldown on top of getting more damage than the Resonant Impulse. But you are better in lane with Resonant Impulse. However, Abed did read this perfectly, and he knew that he didn't get full Dissimulate build, and now he's abusing him with Shadow Strike, because he did go 3 points in Shadow Strike. So a bit of a win there.
March is dead. He is. As I think he picked up the rune. He did. His body for the rune. 50 gold each. One extra last hit for a meager amount of gold and experience for the position 5 is definitely worth it, at least in March's eyes. There's Boomy. Everyone just pulling the lane. Nice pull shenanigans down bottom. Macy is going to get tossed back over to Cuckoo here. I always like seeing the pros. They walk back a few extra feet, right, to just get to get a little bit more efficient, more last hits or more right clicks out because of the toss distance. And as Macy is very, very unhappy. He might tick down to Poison Sting. Oh, he's close. He's close. That extra 1 regen actually helping him out quite a bit there underneath the tier 1 tower.
Hit the fairy fire as well, so
Ooh.
I think he would have survived regardless. Mac just got a haste rune.
Yeah, Mac would have died if that had not been a haste. Maybe an illusion. He could look for the manta dodge or the illusion dodge on that sonic wave. But yeah. if that was a DD, if that was a regen, he is dead there. As is Boomy.
Yeah, he got tossed there. Really easy for them. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Nico's also playing quite aggressively under tower.
Yeah, Mac as well rotating down bottom. As he does have the astral step, but he's not going to be able to close the gap in time there.
This won't be pretty.
Yeah, having to use the haste rune defensively wasn't ideal for Mac either. Of course, he'd rather rotate with the haste rune on, but yeah, it was the best play, so he didn't have to die there. Macy's staying in the bottom lane. I think he's being brought regen by both Boomy and the courier. Yeah, there we go. Double salve, and he's going to be healthy once again. Nico, though, is really playing aggressively against this PA, but even with that, In Your Dream has more farm currently, more last at least than Macy. Even with all this harassment Nico's trying to put, because PA is just too strong in lane.
Yep, she just daggers, and she's good to go.
And now the counter initiation. Nico does have Ravage if he needs some more time, but it's looking bad. Avalanche toss, a lot of damage onto Nico. Is he going to use the Ravage? He doesn't want to commit it. He understands he's just going to die here. Mid lane, Mac also gets a counter kill on the silencer.
Yeah, I like that though. March just absorbing experience as they're gonna have Abed TP top lane and assist with the kill there. So March, he does not want to waste any XP, so he's gonna head mid, try and defend that tower a bit longer. As I'm gonna miss that kill there onto CML. Jeffer, they have a toss, nuking down that little doe. This does give space to Macy though.
Yeah, it is, but Macy's quite far behind, though, unfortunately. I think it's Mac now who has to start doing a lot to create that space for him, because he actually did win the lane despite being kicked out a couple times. He's only 200 gold ahead in net worth, but not bad. And Tidehunter can also do that as well. So we need to see some rotations. Abed in trouble now. There's a blink, though. Mac doesn't want to use his ultimate just yet. There you go, Abed. Actually saves that blink completely, because Mac missed the Aether Remnant.
Yeah, that and Jeffer was starting to rotate around. March as well was rotating over for support if they needed him. So it's probably better that they missed that Aether Remnant. Else, I think Mac would have ended up dying there and overcommitting.
Yep. I agree. I think it's wise for them to just back out. They don't need to do that much in the early, right? They just need to create some space for Troll by annoying the enemy team. But getting kills is not always the prerogative like it is here.
Yep. I will say though, for now, we don't really have that great of a dead laner for Among Us. At least not one that can stand up against Nico. So he's just free to take that tier 1 tower top lane.
Oh, you're true. You're right. Sorry, you're true. You're right, because Veno is a hero that's too static in lane, so yes, he can play the dead lane, but needs some time to set up for that. You can't just go and rotate.
The gank onto Macy. Yeah, they might find him. They have Sonic Wave ready for this. They're not going to need it, though. Just have a toss is going to pick up that kill. The counter rotations, though, out from Mac onto 2. Nice astral step there. Will explode March as CML collecting both kills there. Cuckoo gets a good Gale, however, onto Mac, so that should be that little engagement over. But a kill onto Macy while In Your Dream continues to farm. I think that's a win for Among Us, Albert.
Yeah, but, you know, Among Us tries to equal this out a bit with Zephyr joining in, getting one little counter kill onto Mac. Literally came out of the trees, was waiting there forever just to get that counter kill. Well played, Zephyr. A lot of patience there. Still, though, I would argue that's a win just because you forced the rotation earlier and you still gave some space to your troll here. But actually, no, PA took advantage more of that space because troll was dead in the beginning, so never mind. Yeah, no, it's actually more of a win to Among Us because In Your Dream could free farm for a while.
Yeah, to me, it's all about that In Your Dream farm. As Boomy is going to look for the TP out, and he will be escaping. No Sonic Wave available.
Okay, let's see. Among Us is trying to push that bottom lane. They lost their top tier 1, which means their jungle is now a bit scarier, so they want to take the bottom tier 1 to invade the enemy jungle, or the mid Either one is fine. It's just that if you're pushing mid against Tide, I just don't think you can kill Nico right now. He's the best hero to camp near tier 1. If you commit to him, you Ravage, TP, and that's GG essentially. Right? So you have to take the easier towers here, not wherever the Tide is. Tide is too annoying.
This should make my life easier.
Just looking around here, we do have Among Us trying to set up a nice line here, right? You see lots of bodies. In fact, all 5 heroes, even Jeff are doing a good job of trying to harass Nico and dissuade him from trying to defend this bottom tier 1. They will have a fortify for it, but with the wagon, as well as 4 friendly heroes nearby, this tower is as good as dead. They might lose their mid tower in exchange for this, though. I'm not sure if this is really what Among Us need, but they're going to make the decision to let it go.
Yeah, it's not the best of trades. Maybe when they were all going bottom, Cuckoo might have rotated a bit earlier to try to go to the mid lane and set up some plague wars to make it a bit harder, right? To at least take this tower, because they just took it. But even with Cuckoo alone, I think he was just done. I kind of understand this choice. March in trouble. He was trying to deward, but you don't get to deward, mate. They actually still have the sentry up there, so it's gonna be a.
I got the observer though. That's the important one.
Yeah,
because that pays for the sentry and it removes vision. And he gives him XP. So, again, in his book, that's a win.
Sure, yeah, that's true. I mean, when these kind of suicidal missions as support to deward, you accept that if you die, you die. It's not really, like, it's not that big a deal, honestly. You are a position 5 Sans.
Yep. He plays a position 5 a lot like Fear, which I enjoy. I enjoy to see, right? He's this very sacrificial. It's whatever, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm dying. I've died plenty of times here. I'll switch on over to Net Worth to see Nico still in the lead. Probably not unsurprising because of this anchor smash.
Yeah, it's actually it's true what you mentioned. A lot of the supports that play that way actually used to be cores. March, one of them actually, because he used to play as an offlaner. And you had like Fata, for example, also plays very much like that. Also ex-core, right? I think cores understand that they really want like a super sacrificial support, because then they get enabled. So then they start realizing, oh, I'm gonna play like that when I'm in that position. Veil of Discord is actually the build here for the Silencer, which is interesting actually as his first item. Will amplify your damage considerably, but interesting that position 5 Silencer is going to build as opposed to say the Venomancer or the Queen of Pain. So stats are okay.
I mean, I think it's going to be more. What does that allow Cuckoo to do? It allows him to go. I don't think straight Vessel this game necessarily, but it allows him to go into the urn comfortably. Because the way March plays is he goes, okay, I can have one 2,000 gold item by 20 minutes. That's his goal, right? Even with all these deaths, that's going to be his goal, and he's on pace to achieve it. And he's going to look at his team composition and go, Medallion, Mech, and this game he goes Veil. And I like it. I really like that playstyle. He goes, whatever item is going to be best for the team.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, sure. I'm not getting it early though. Does lose a bit of the snowball potential from Veil.
Yeah.
I also don't think that Veno needs that many great items. It seems like he's going for a pipe now, because I just saw him get the cloak. Yeah, so maybe Veno's going to be going for a pipe to mitigate some of the damage. I like that actually. That way you have an aura Veno, which is useful, more defensive, but bigger defensive items, and your offense, which is more limited, you resign to your supports. PA is going to be your big damage source anyway, so Veil is just as a transitional item for that mid game. Talk about carries, by the way. Macy is still a bit behind from this PA, despite the fact that he does have the buff from the Empower. What is he going to build first? What is the first item on a troll that doesn't build Battle Fury? Is it S and Y game, maybe?
Yeah, at least a Sanj first, right? Maybe consider going for the Halberd this game. A little bit of evasion, a disarm could be nice. I think back when the patch began, it was all about going for the Halberd. Everyone loved Halberd. I think since then it's been adjusted a little bit, and people are realizing what's a little bit more efficient. But March here is going to be able to scout that stack. He tried to block the camp, but at least he scouts the ancient stack, so he knows what the plan is here. And in fact, they are going to be looking to invade this jungle and steal the stack.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take this. I mean, it's not the biggest stack. It's only two stacks. Well, I don't think it's that.
Well, the important thing is that then you deny, again, another Sentry deward here, right?
Yeah, it's important.
So that's going to block the camp even further, right? Assuming that's not dewarded. That's a lot of gold gone. But then the reason I'm so big to say, oh, it's all the stacks, is that's a lot of time support to be doing anything else on the map. They could be farming an item for themselves, right? Instead of just waiting there and standing and waiting for the correct time to actually hit the creep and all that good stuff, right? Because I think it is a little bit of a minor deal, but it's not like, yeah, a double stack of ancients isn't going to be too much to cry about. But for Macy, who could use all the farm he could get right now, maybe, right? That would put him above the PA in terms of net worth.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, because until the PA gets Battle Fury, your Troll is going to farm faster. Even with Battle Fury, it's going to be kind of even, because Troll has a pretty nice farming speed, so denying him some safe farm. Since you understand that with an offlaner like Venno, you're not really going to get kills easily. Once Tiny gets Blink, this... Oh, actually, it already has Blink. You can go for smokes, and maybe this changes. But as it stands right now, you're much more looking to dominate the map than you are looking to and deny farm that way, rather than trying to get killed. Especially because Macy is being followed by his entourage constantly, and it's kind of difficult to pick him off right now. They're all going top, by the way, to defend this tier 1. This tier 1, usually the useless one, but it does defend your triangle slightly, so...
Oh, there you go. They might get a kill here onto Jeff for the global silence, though, to try and scare him off. The Sonic Wave will connect, and that's Mac now down for the count. Nico unable to counter-initiate there with the Ravage.
CML is now in trouble as well, as in your dream, tries to get an extra kill, and it seems like CML, oh, the Untouchable. The Untouchable really stopping in your dream. Never mind, he has another Phantom Strike, and he's going to slice and dice this Enchantress. So Androit loses 2. Really that's global, to be honest, but not just the global, it's just the positioning as well. You don't really expect the whole enemy team, 860 minutes in, without taking your tier 1 mid, to be in your triangle. This is quite the risky play, quite the unorthodox play, but it works just because of that, right? The surprise factor is important, which is why Mac was a bit overconfident in that play. He didn't really expect everyone to be there, and the global, of course, to be committed. Yep.
And there's now Orchid on our Queen of Pain. So she can be pretty happy with this. That gives her a little bit more solo kill potential. It's very good against Boomy, for example, if he's going to try and blink in, or even just skewer in very aggressively, puts him in a bad position, fish out of water sort of position whenever one of these initiator blinks in on you. And then get silences like as it will be at least the Yasha first into the BKB, looks like, for Macy. So Yasha just to accelerate the farm. I think that's a good idea. But we will now have Battle Fury. I was waiting for this one here, as it's going to be Phase Boots, a single Wraith Band, and then into the Battle Fury for our PA right around the 17-minute mark. Not too bad, not amazing, but actually a bit respectable timing.
A bit bad, right? Because the acceptable timing is 50 minutes in. It's not even fast, it's just acceptable. With treads or boots or whatever you build, you actually built face boots, so it kind of changes a bit because treads are a bit better for farming, but still, it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow on that Battle Fury. However, considering how the game has gone and considering that you're still matching the Troll in terms of GPM, and Troll had been power from the start, it just happens to be a low GPM game. It's not really, it's all about the relative GPM, right? Not necessarily about the timing overall.
March is extremely dead, as they will pick up the kill. I think it's the Arcane Curse of Spite, as he will at least...
You might kill me, but I will at least slow you for like 6 seconds and deal like 200 damage.
Before you Yules yourself off anyway.
Exactly, right? Because he already has the Yule set up. Which I love that he went for, by the way, Mac. I think this is the perfect build. Yules into the Ags. Sometimes you can afford to go a bit more aggressive with like Orchid or even Dezo, but in this game, you need a setup stun, and you also need to control the Queen of Pain PA, both of which are really hard to stop, right? So this is a good way to do so.
Yeah. Plus, pardon me. Actually, the Mac, or really just the Void Spirit, is potentially okay against a PA, right? Because he has just a ground-targeted ability that is Lockdown that you could use to then possibly set up for more stuns if, for example, a PA is blurred around you. Because Blur will not dodge things like RP, Skewer. It doesn't dodge like AoE abilities. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah. It just, you can't target them.
And Yule's also really good for that because Yule's a 0 cast point, right? So the chance of you being able to dodge something like a Yule setup is really... unless you're just quick, right? So
unless
you really can't
counter it with Yules.
Yeah, you have to go for your own Yules and your dream Yules, much like the Monkey King Yules we saw. He's going for the typical Battle Fury Dezo build, which is just quite effective, right? You don't have a Magnus, so you're just going for the traditional build. Without a Magnus, of course, your versatility as a hero is lowered. Cuckoo, ooh, that was not the greatest E11, but the body block is nice. Cuckoo commits this with a Poison Nova. He says, yeah, come at me, fight me. But his teammates don't really want to help him out as Cuckoo is being left to his own devices. Here comes Effort to help him out. Cuckoo, though, hit by the impetus, almost dies, barely surviving thanks to that Hood of Defiance, by the way. And now they're all scrambling to get away. March draws the aggro from Macy. And yeah, March plays that sacrificial lamb again. He knows if he dies, it's fine as long as his cores are not dying.
Yeah, that was almost really bad for the toss because CML with the impetus was like, yes, yes, toss him even further away. But they were lucky to win, to live there on Cuckoo. Cuckoo returns the favor on missed skill shots, though, as he completely whiffs on the Venomous Gale, but it's whatever. He ends up winning or living, and then March is just going to go ahead and walk towards the enemies and you know, accept his death.
Zephyr just got scouted by 2 couriers. He's like, all right. They're pinging him. What is this Tiny even doing here? And he's just trying to run away as fast as possible. Trying to TP, praying there's no ward. He's already found out. No scepter. Well played by Mac, actually. Going to the high ground to guarantee the vision. And then guaranteeing the skill. You did force a lot of rotations, but Troll was already farming there, so it's not that big a deal.
Yep. Cuckoo is being scouted yet again, but he's got plenty of Plague Wards to slow pursuers. He's going to be totally fine here. They will try for Roche on the side of a droid. Do we have any minus armor besides Gush? No, but that might be enough, as well as this BKB. They're feeling pretty strong about it.
Yeah, I guess the initiation for Among Us not that strong either in terms of stuns, right? It's more about the global silence and the poison nova. You deal a lot of damage, but it's hard to stop them from taking Roshan. Fumi's also doing a good job of bordering them, walking around. He's thinking of the high ground. Also, this is the perfect spot to break smokes that go to the Roshan. It's right on the edge from both stairs, so it's a position a lot of supports know. Very smart by Boomy.
And it's going to be Mac with Aegis, allow him to play a little bit more faster and loose here as we now hit that 20-minute mark. We'll see. I mean, we got good defensive items as well. A full pipe finished up on a tide. He actually doubled back from that. He had the Vlads and the quick buy for the entire time he was farming it. But that's good for him, as it's going to allow them to live a little bit longer against Cuckoo, maybe even against a Tiny, for example, against a March. Might actually let, you know, it might actually let you blink, for example, if you get hit by only magic damage, because the barrier will completely block it.
Sure. That's true. It gives you, especially against Venno, that's quite important, because Poison's thing is the biggest Blink Dagger canceller in the game. It's so annoying. Get hit by a stupid Plague Ward, all of a sudden you can't use Blink Dagger for forever.
The Plague Wards do have base attack damage, though, so it's not going to block that. That's important to note, but as Alvaro was saying, it's only for the Poison Sting. Yep.
And the Tidehunter, what I do want to point out is that he doesn't have any dispels right now. He didn't go for Greaves or Lotus or whatever, so he could be vulnerable to the Silencer.
Whoa.
Oh, Mac actually guessed correctly, but...
Yeah, now the one
he guessed correctly, didn't have the vision, huh?
Yeah, he landed on this side of the tree, and this tree was blocking the vision there.
Macy is trying to take this tower up top to also take the outpost and completely dominate the enemy jungle, and he's kind of closing in on that MKB. Once he gets that, he's free to fight against the PA, but he really needs that MKB to start fighting properly against her. It's a really good item though on the Troll. It's a huge DPS for any hero that depends on attack speed. And honestly, the best DPS item in the game as it stands. MKB. A bit too strong, I'd argue.
Yep. It's just the build-up is so fantastic as well, right? It's not like Nullifier, where it's like, oh, this is the worst 2 items to get. You know, a Sacred Relic and a piece of paper. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a helm of a piece of paper, okay?
Nullifier is a helm now?
Yeah, wasn't it? Is it a helm or iron?
Oh yeah, Nullifier and helm, not a piece of paper. You're right.
I thought you were joking. That
it used to be a piece of paper. It used to be a piece of paper.
It's like, no.
I don't know what you're talking about. March is going to be caught. He's dead.
March is going to die down bottom, but again, it's only a 5. He's meant to die. If Cuckoo dies, though, this is a much bigger deal. Can you cancel this TP? They go Ravage. Yep, we can. Bye-bye, Cuckoo. You're not getting away. Nico's closing in on that Vlad as well, which is huge for his sustainability, by the way. It really helps out, because Anchor Smash, of course, does actually lifesteal, and it really helps your Troll as well before he activates Battle Trance to have a bit of extra lifesteal.
That was a really good smoke rotation. They got the tier 2 tower, and then they smoke and push, because they know that Among Us are going to be pushing opposite. They're going to mirror their movements here. As, oh my goodness, what is this Tidehunter blink? He doesn't have Ravage. Nice silence onto Mac. They're actually going to decide to use up Abed instead. Nico, though, without the Ravage now, is going to get global silence, so he couldn't even use it if he had the chance. Sonic Wave is going to catch 3 heroes here, but they did not catch Macy, who's still running around. In your dream, though, there they go. There's going to be the Aegis finally down to Fumi, popping the RP. He only finds Abed. They're going to use the ultimate as Mr. Stomps is going to be assisting for that additional lockdown. And your dream has been caught as well by the 8th Remnant, but he's kept that Blink Strike mad range. They will continue the chase, but it's only Nico here who does not have a stun. And they will be ending that fight for a 2-for-2, but a bit better there for Androit, as one of those deaths was the Aegis, and this will result in a tier 2 tower being taken.
All right, they're playing quite well, and they're playing to their strengths here. Androit, I think they're actually playing their draft really wonderfully, because they understood that the mid game was when they start to be strong, right? And they can actually take team fights. Their team fight is clearly superior, even against the global silence. Just
even
because,
without Ravage.
Yeah, even without Ravage. I mean, the RP itself is great. Troll and Void Spirit are much more useful for team fights than that, to be honest, right? Even Queen of Pain, you have to really set them up for that Sonic Wave. I'd argue that the mobility that Android brings to the table is great for these standard team fighting builds like Among Us. And they haven't really fought until now, right? They understand that this is their peak. This is when they get their BKBs. This is when the point of inflection happens. And now they actually start to be aggressive. So, well played.
Yeah, we still need a little bit more gold here for In Your Dream to finish off the Battle Fury. I'm sorry, the BKB. And then
Imagine
I
25-minute battle.
Yeah, he's not that far behind. His Battle Fury, it's coming. We're 25 minutes into the game. Don't worry about it. As Creep will get this tier 1 tower. Whoops.
For a second, you just casted my last pub game. You just confused it for this great pro game.
No, that's not true. You got Battle Fury at 37 minutes.
Okay, all right. Wait. I was playing Invoker, okay? In Your Dream, he wants to jump Nico. Oh, actually not that difficult to kill. And Nico went for a medallion, which is going to help him a bit. Remember that Vlad's no longer gives the armor in an aura, which is probably one of its best assets, or was one of its best assets. So the medallion really helps the Tide. Tides don't have great agility gain. You're actually quite vulnerable to a PH just bursting you down. So the medallion's not bad.
Oh, wow.
You can even consider Solar Crest.
CML broke smoke there when he was invis, thanks to the Glimmer Cape. That's
nice.
really useful. Good read there by CML. Still had the
position.
Force Staff in case he needed it.
Yeah, on point on these supports, honestly. The reads by Androit has been pretty good this game in terms of tactics. They've known when to engage. They've avoided a lot of engagement Among Us, and Among Us seem to be forced to be played to their tempo. I think partially because they picked the Veno offlane, right? And he's not the best tempo setter. A bit too static as a hero, and Android is really taking advantage of this.
Nico's insane. Swapping in like that. They have no vision in their triangle. That's why I was toggling the vision over. So they have no idea if they can get enveloped, which is very real possibility as the fight popping off. Now Mac jumping right on in, controlling onto Jeffers. They were unable to nuke CML. I think they're going to reset it here, though.
Do we have global? We do have global. Do they want to fight this?
I don't know. There's Cuckoo. They will buy back now. Cuckoo getting caught by 1. The BKB. Oh my goodness. The global science is going to set up for a Sonic Wave onto 4. Then but it's not good enough. As now In Your Dream has been caught by the RP. So what if you're BKB? I still got you now. As Abed is doing well to keep out of vision. Completely out of mana though now as March is not going to have much left. Jeffer is going to be able to save his own life a little bit by tossing Macy back onto the high ground. But Nico's been holding on to the Ravage. He's going to catch the 2 heroes left alive. Great shockwave as well. Will hold back Abed for a little bit longer, but he still has that blink out. My goodness, Android, they're just fighting magnificently here.
They are, but that was also a bit of a not the best fight for Among Us. So if you notice there, the activated global science at the same time as the BKBs came out, and there's not really much point to that, to be honest. Before, it kind of made sense because BKBs also gave you 100% magic resistance, right? But it no longer does. So MKB just pierces through that completely. Doesn't matter. So it's not really that relevant anymore when you do these kind of plays. You're wasting the global silence or you're wasting the BKB. And then the Ravage was pretty much free for Nico. And the threat of the Ravage also made them play scared because they couldn't BKB right after the global, right? So they didn't have the 16 seconds of anti-Ravage. They only had realistically like 6 to 10. Yeah. Because they what is it, stack those things together. So I think that could have been a bit better played by Among Us, especially because they had the advantage of the high ground. They actually had a good positioning there, but they didn't really take advantage of those ultimates. Also, really good BKB timing for the troll. I think you might have to wait until the troll forces the BKB for you to actually global him, because otherwise you can always get the battle trance off, because that's obviously dispel silence, right?
Yep.
It's a difficult thing to do. It's a really difficult thing to do.
Let me see here. Oh, we have Ags now as well on Mac. That's going to be nice for him to double silences there for him. Might actually result in some kills onto Abed, but his positioning in that last fight was fantastic. He was just kind of stepping in, blinking up onto the high ground where he knew that Android had no vision. Eventually does get chased up there and ravaged, but he still has enough mana for the blink away. That's not a problem.
7k lead for Android. And they're looking for more fights now, as the troll is about to get his basher. Another way to pierce that evasion from the PA, another way to man-fighter, catching March yet again.
Silence.
Again, tanking the gank, which is what a Pause 5 should be doing, so, but if it gets to a point where you're just starting a bit too much, right, or maybe your carries are just out of position, you constantly have to tank the ganks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once you hit 11, it's like, I mean, really 10, because he's spent a lot of this game now dead, realistically. As they will maybe be looking to fight here? No. Okay, they're going to back off.
For now, Among Us is just trying to recover the farm of the PA and try to make her, the strongest hero in the world. But unfortunately, that troll is a bit too strong right now.
Yeah.
Cuckoo gets the Poison Nova out. A bit of a threat, so they can't fight him. But the troll didn't get caught by the Poison Nova, and they have a lot of magical damage. Macy doesn't seem to care about that Ghost Scepter. It was just if it's not Macy dealing damage, it's Mac, and Mac brings a lot of damage to the table because of the build he went for. He's actually going for a Lotus as well, which I love, to get a Dispel against the Silencer, or to potentially get the Dispel on the Tide or the Troll to make it even harder for
Here's March. There he goes, dying again.
Wee, there I go again, dying.
I mean, at what point do you go, March is sus, and press that emergency meeting button, you know?
It's not great because I don't know really what a silencer does at this point in the game. When you're losing this much as a +5 silencer, you're kind of useless. You're really only there to tank ganks because you can't really push lane, so you can't really be a dead laner. You can, I guess, help your carry farm, but you have to stay a safe distance from them because otherwise you just steal experience, which is useless. And you have not much ganking power, to be honest, right? Because Last Word is not the best ability to gank with. So poor March has found himself in a desperate position where he's just trying to be useful this game. I don't think dying is really that big a deal because honestly, how much gold is he even giving? 200 gold, I guess. It's a bit. I don't know. It feels really sad when you're playing a silencer in this position. I don't think you can really blame March for this. He really just dewards and tanks ganks, and that's your job.
Yep, pretty much. Speaking of tanking ganks, I think it's going to be Androit now needing to tank one as Among Us will smoke up, heading towards Roche, but Roshan has respawned. Nico is going to be able to scout that Aegis and Cheese then in the inventory of Roche as they will start it up, but careful here. They could really be in some trouble.
Roshan is going to fall, it seems like. Oh, the Venomancer silenced. Cuckoo, careful.
They've got like a two-pronged attack, maybe even three if they want to go through this stairwell. I think they should just kind of organize here and go for it, but Macy's just going through Roche way too fast.
Ravage. Yeah, I love that play by Nico. Super aggressive play, pretending like, yeah, I'm just going to Ravage you if I find you. Now they still catch the Venomancer with a Yule Scepter. They want to fight this. There's a Global Silence though, but they don't seem to use it in time as the Venom's already dead. March realizes he has to leave, but they catch Abed. March even thought of using the Global Silence, but Abed has BKB. Rather use that than the Global Silence just yet. The thing of counter initiating from behind. Boomy does die to In Your Dream, but they do catch out March, so there's no more Global Silence. In Your Dream bursting down CML. There's fights on two fronts right now. One front just caught the PA. Can they catch her though? Nico could have used his Ravage. Chose not to, as he wants to get the bigger kill. Thinking about it, 2 TPs. Nico? No, he's gonna play it defensively, save the Ravage for later.
Yep, the two, oh no, the Sheffer should be fine here. The two cores, they decided to run down supports. They did that quite nicely. So March is going to now take a 13th death here in this game, and but it was PA and company actually who kind of got isolated when Nico decided to blink up very aggressively. You had the rest of the team kind of retreat, and then you kind of had Abed blinking around. He got caught, ends up joining the reinforcements, but the supports, namely Cuckoo and March, end up getting caught on the other side there of the Tide Hunter. So they become very easy pickings for Macy in that fight. But at the same time, because Macy is being so aggressive, Androit also lose both of their supports there to the PA.
I think the Nico could have played that a bit more aggressively, to be honest. He had a couple of times where he could have just Ravaged, set up for the kill on the PA, because you really catch her once with a troll, and she's dead, right? Because you just constantly permabash her or stun, or root or whatever. But not using that.
Don't move, Sheffer. Sheffer, if you breathe, you're going to be caught by the scan.
Oh, his spider legs. He's just clearing the trees.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's a big fan of big oil here. He's foresting.
But Boomy does have this Shadow Blade now to assist him in getting off the RP. It's like you were saying about Doom. What do you build on support Magnus? Whatever you need to be able to get off the RP. Because I think that's going to be a big win condition for them in being able to actually control In Your Dream. Abed as well, to some certain extent, has presented some difficulties in actually being held down long enough so they can kill him, as Boomy was looking for that Tiny, but he's unable to find him. So nice job there, cutting the way, but they still actually have one range creep here, which is going to be more than enough for Macy to destroy this tier 2 tower. And that's the last outer tower standing then for Among Us.
Yeah, Macy will continue to go for tier 3. I mean, if you don't stop him, he's going to push your whole day. He's a troll. He can solo push pretty much. Yeah, and with the help of the Tide as well as counter initiation and the Magnus as well, now with the Lotus Orbs, making sure that Tide can always get off his ultimate, it's difficult for Among Us to really jump him, so...
Oh, it's Max Lotus. I was like, whose Lotus is that? Nico? I'd be surprised.
As I explained earlier, It's a really good pickup because it dispels silence on really anyone you want, so you can always guarantee either Battle Trance or Ravage. And seeing Shivas and Nico as his next item, which I also like very much, and the Solar Crest helps him to push. With even Enchanted Script actually to give him a bit of extra armor, just so he sustains more damage. I think Boomy is trying to hunt in your dream to see if they can just TP and catch her. Boomy has been caught out by the sentry though, so they did see him, and they know where he is more or less, and your dream might want to surprise him here.
They might be able to actually catch in your dream here, though, as they kind of have an idea. Blurred?
Oh, okay.
CML? They're not going to quite have vision, but they know.
They know due to the smoke. The Ravage immediately onto 2. The Global Silencer, give him some time, but there's the Abyssal Blade just to catch the carry, and your dream is done for. Albert might also die. He has the BKB on, though, saving some on the damage. They go for Tiny instead. Gold Scepter, give him some time. Zephyr will unfortunately only get time for the Queen of Pain to leave, as his death is guaranteed. And they do kill the carry, so that's all you care about. In Your Dream is done for. Yeah, Queen of Pain gets away, but she wasted BKB. Really good Ravage. And Nico does not doubt it. He just goes in and ravages.
Yep. Yeah, a very, very good play there from Nico. He knew that if he even thought about that for a second longer, March probably would have had the jump on him, or Abed would have been there instead. But nope, instead it's Cuckoo. You madman. What? He's just going out here to be so aggressive, trying to buy a little bit of time. He's going to get the ulti off, but eat the Abyssal Blade out from Macy, and he will eventually die there. Mac just needing to wait for the second charge of Resonant Pulse to be used. That's going to be a kill onto him. He does have buyback, so,
yeah,
you know, buying a little bit of time, but he failed to nuke even another wave, as now Jeffrey will be the first to buy back. Bot lane, again, the choice of insertion here for MCY and the rest of the droids, as they will finally get that tier 3 tower down.
To be honest, the Veno, as we mentioned earlier, he's a decent... Oh, wait. Gold Scepter setting up for him. They have the 8th in a second. Cuckoo, he's just too slow. They toss him back to base, but the impetus, yeah, plus the Abyssal Blade will guarantee the kill. Zephyr at least survives this time. As in comes Boomy, brings them back thanks to the RP. Tiny downs first, and Abed falls second. With Macy now losing the Aegis, I think you can keep on pushing. I mean, yeah, you have PA back, but nobody else is buyback. You know for a fact Veno doesn't.
That was actually the first time I think I've ever seen an aggressive or an enemy force staff dispelled halfway through.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I knew you could do that, but I've actually never seen that. It's In Your Dream now making the jump. Global Signs to follow up. They're going to try and nuke down Macy, but he's going to just pop his BKB now. Turn and fight. Has the Abyssal Blade ready. Finds. Oh no, the PA underneath the tier 4. In Your Dream getting bashed. See you later. March, that's 14 times, and 14 times he's going to throw in the towel. He's done. White flag waved, as Among Us will lose game number 1 to Androit Esports.
Fantastic game by Androit. I think Among Us had some weaknesses in their draft, which honestly, I'm glad to eat my words. I think that in hindsight, Androit's draft was much stronger than I get the credit for. I was expecting Among Us to do a bit better in the lanes and then take advantage of the Veno, but Veno was pretty much not really useful this game, and they really managed to cancel this Silencer pick. Like, they had plans in terms of itemization to make sure Silencer was kind of useless. They also